Welcome in. It's day 21 and you are speaking with the Meeples champion. Now yesterday we went over my favorite game of all time, Clank. And I mostly am recommending games. For the most part, I enjoy most games, especially the ones that I own, that I've spent my money on, that I do research, I try to prep, I try to really know what I'm getting, or at least the day of, I try to sit down and play with somebody at a convention and know the game before I pick it up. And whether it's that you've tried it before and it failed, or you took a shot on something and it didn't, not every game's going to work out. So today, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to go into a direction of a game that I'm not going to be recommending to you guys. And this game is Dominant Species. Dominant Species, the original version. I heard they've redone it, and if they have, I need to look into that. But first edition is a big game. This is a commitment. You've got 6 different species. Now, you can play this in 6-player, which is obviously the best way to go. You can play it in 5 or 4, which is roughly the same. But once you start getting lower than that, 3 people have to take 2 species, 2 people have to take 3 species. It starts to get convoluted. It's got some great aspects. Is the pieces the best? No. The pieces are pretty bland. You're dealing with cones, you're dealing with little squares, you're dealing with, just cylinders. It's nothing great looking. You're not getting the feel. You're not getting pulled into the theme of the game. Your pieces are fine. They're going to hold up fine. So are you asking me, are these pieces good? Yes. You can get this game, and this game will be fine in 10 or 15 years. Nothing's going to fall apart on this game. But are you really getting the experience? I do think if you find 6 people who are going to sit down together and play, and they're into it, this is a fantastic experience. But in my experience, I only ever found one other person that was actually willing to sit and play the full game and really enjoy it. And even we would get tired near the end. The game's a minimum 3 hours, even 2-player. It's exhausting. There's just so much to do. You've got all of these different potential movements or actions. And I really enjoy the right side of the board in the respect of, okay, you're going to place out something and claim that you're doing this action. But you don't do it yet. You're all going to keep claiming spots. And once all the spots are claimed, or everybody's run out of their action tokens to claim something, you will then go to the top of the chart and go down. So yes, I may have been first player, but I may have been targeting things near the bottom. And now I better hope that nobody messes with me, because the things at the top may give somebody the ability to scatter me, or to kill some of me, or to increase themselves. There's a lot of different possible actions that allows a lot of early control that all of a sudden somebody who has a late decision could get messed with. Or the flip. You have what looks like an amazing turn. You've done everything right, but you're not the last one to go, and suddenly somebody sweeps in with their last couple actions and just destroys everything you did. It's in a way a war game, in that idea of it's area control. It's trying to have the most in each section. It's understanding, who has the right species in the right type of topography, allowing them to have that control of multiplication or movement or the ability to fight stronger. It's a fun game, but it's expensive. I believe the game went initially for $75, and today, to get the original version, you're looking at $90 plus. I only own the game because I played it with a friend who got it when it first came out, and we enjoyed it. And then I hadn't played it in nearly 10 years. And then I was at a local board game store, and we were doing a, selling of games day, and somebody that was a neighbor of me had it. It was actually 2 different people at this bazaar had this game, and they were both selling it for $10 because they were like, we can never play it, and well, it's worth a lot of money. Nobody wants it. Now the second edition's out. It may not be as good as what the first was in some respects, but it's cheaper and it's better, and it goes faster. So I took the shot, and I ended up just trading one of my $10 games to get my hands on it because it looked good to me. I was like, hey, I've played it before, and for $10, I'll add it to my collection. If you come across this game, if you've played it before, if you know that you like it, and you have at least one friend who likes it, and you can get it for $10, sure, throw it in your collection. As long as you have the space and you're not dealing with a situation where, oh no, I've got another wall of stacked games and I don't know where to put them, and that bothers you. If you're not dealing with that and you have a spot to put it and you can find it cheap, go for it. Do not spend the money on this game brand new. Do not go on to Amazon and buy this game for $75 or $80 or $90. It's just not worth it. It's too long. It's too convoluted. And it takes way too much effort. You're not having fun. By the time you hit that 2 hour mark, you're just at that point committed to, I'm going to win. And if that's the only reason you're playing, to me, that's not what board gaming is about. I love to win. Anybody who plays board games and says, I don't care about winning, either they're lying to themselves or they're lying to you. We want to win. But more important than winning is the experience of the game, the experience with your friends. I could be a gamer who decides to play more video games. I enjoy video games, but I do those by myself because I don't want to jump online and play with somebody I don't know or play with a friend, but we're on, headsets at best. It's not like when I was a kid and you had your N64 and you could actually sit down and play with 3 people in the room with you. I play board games to see my friends, to enjoy our time together, to, hey, as we're setting up or people's first showing up, we're all talking about our weeks, our kids, how our families are doing, what we were up to, maybe a new game we saw. And throughout the game, you're having your fun, you're making your jokes, and you're getting that experience. Something that as adults, we don't see a lot of adults, at least me growing up. I didn't see my parents doing that a lot. Not every parent is that. A lot of parents still see their friends a lot. But you get to a certain age where that childhood type feel of just going out and playing with somebody, going and hitting up a park or hitting up your bikes, going out for the movies, it slowly falls off. And board games is a way to bring a little of that back. And that's what the experience of board games for me is. This game does not help that. This is not that kind of game. You're not talking about what's been going on this week because it takes all of your paying attention and your mindset to get this game going and to understand what your next move is. And so if you're not there, the likelihood is this isn't the right game because either the other players are annoyed because now you just are a body in a seat and you're not really playing the game. You're there for the social aspect. Or you're all there for the social aspect and nobody's enjoying the game itself. So it's just a very do not recommend game from me. I don't hate the game. I don't think the game is terrible. I understand what I'm looking for in a game and it just doesn't hit enough marks for me. Now, as I said, yesterday we did Clank. That was my favorite game of all time as of now. Today we're doing Dominant Species. It's probably going to be my lowest recommended game. That doesn't mean it's my least favorite game. Different things. So tomorrow, when we check in again, we're going to see if maybe there's another type of game that hits a different mark for me. It's something that I may or may not recommend, but is definitely going to have a different type of feeling as to how I feel when playing the game. Till then, you have been talking to the Meeples Champion, and this has been day 21, 3 weeks into our 365-day countdown. Thank you. Talk to you tomorrow.